For our second scripture lesson, we're going to return to the Gospel according to John and pick up where we left off last week. We've been, for over a year now, walking slowly through this Gospel, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, and we're now reaching its final movement. Our passage this morning comes from the second part of an extended prayer that Jesus offered up at the end of the Passover feast. He and his disciples are still in the upper room. They have shared the bread and the cup. They have had their feet washed. And Jesus has prepared them in an extensive teaching on what is to come and how they are to respond. But before they go out into the world, Jesus lifts a prayer on their behalf. We pick up in the prayer at chapter 17, verse 20. Listen now for the word of God. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. As you, Father, are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. The glory that you have given me I have given to them, so that they may be one, as we are one. I in them and you in me, that they may become completely one, so that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. Father, I desire that those also whom you have given me may be with me where I am, to see my glory, which you have given me because you loved me before the foundation of the earth. Righteous Father, the world does not know you, but I know you, and these know that you have sent me. I made your name known to them, and I will make it known, so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. Friends, this is the word of our Lord. Thanks be to God. Please join me in a moment of prayer. Gracious God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be found acceptable and pleasing in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. In 1985, the actress Sally Fields won her second Best Actress Oscar for her role in the movie Places in the Heart. She had won her first for her role in the movie Norma Rae. Now that night, her acceptance speech was warm and genuine and followed the basic pattern of the day. She began by thanking a long list of those who had been involved in the production with her, from the producer to the director to all her co-stars. Then she thanked her family and friends for all the love and support that they had given her. It's what she said next, though, that is remembered, because it was much broader in its audience. She said, what I really want to say is thank you to you. I haven't had an Orthodox career, and what I have wanted most is your respect. The first time I didn't feel it, but this time I feel it, and I can't deny it. You like me. You really like me. What stood out that night was not just Sally's words, but the genuine emotion with which she surrounded those words. She wasn't just making a speech, but she was pouring out the joy and the wonder that she encountered at the recognition that she mattered, that her work was valued and appreciated. You like me. You really like me, she said. And still today, it's remembered as one of the best Oscar acceptance speeches ever. It can be a powerful moment when we recognize that we matter, when we realize that the people around us value and appreciate us for who we are and what we do. You ever felt that way? That you matter, that you're valued and appreciated? I hope that you have. Who's the first person that helped you to feel that way? For me, it was a woman named Charlene Thomas. Now, I've told Charlene's story from this pulpit before, but it's been quite a while, and some of you weren't here then, so I want to share the story again this morning. Charlene was the 40-something-year-old volunteer youth leader at my church when I was in 6th grade, the first year that you were allowed to participate in youth group. Charlene had platinum blonde hair and was full of life and played on the local country music circuit, which sort of made her cool. I liked going to youth group because of Charlene. I didn't like going to youth group because of my 2 older brothers. They kind of saw the youth group as their territory, and they kind of saw me as an embarrassment. So let's just say I didn't always feel welcome there. That was true one particular fall Saturday morning when the group made a trip to King's Dominion to spend the day. As soon as we arrived at the park, my brothers paired up with their friends and took off to explore and ride rides. Neither of them thought to invite me to tag along, which for that trip left me as the odd man out. And that's when Charlene jumped into action. She grabbed me by the hand and said, "Well, I guess it's you and me." And with that, we were off. She spent the whole day completely responsive to every single one of my whims. We went where I wanted to go, we did what I wanted to do, we rode what I wanted to ride. At one point, late in the evening, when lines are down, we rode the Rebel Yell roller coaster 11 times in a row. We would literally run from the exit to the entrance over and over and over again. Truth is, still today, I don't know if Charlene likes roller coaster rides. But what became clear to me with each passing trip around the roller coaster was that she liked me. And that began to change things for me. Changed the way I viewed youth group and my place there. But maybe more than that, changed the way I viewed the church and my place there. If it had people like Charlene in it, maybe it was a place for me. And here I stand today. She liked me. She really liked me. And it made all the difference in the world. Who was it that first gave you a sense that you mattered? Who was it that first helped you see that you were valued and accepted? I really want you, these aren't rhetorical questions, I want you to hone in on somebody this morning. Picture their face. Remember their personality, the things that they did and said that let you knew all of those things, that you mattered, that you were appreciated, that you were valued. Who were those people? Because we could stop this sermon right here. We could bow our heads and offer a prayer of thanksgiving to God for them, because they're part of why we're here today. They're part of why we're worshiping today. We could do that. But instead, I'm going to have to tell you you're wrong. And I'm sorry about that. Whoever it was that you were picturing, whatever their name was, they weren't the first person to recognize that you mattered. They weren't the first one to see and appreciate your value. As Charlene was not the first one to do that for me. But the substance of our faith is that 2,000 years ago, one came into this world who did more than like us, really like us. We're about to consider the evidence of that reality as we walk through the final portions of John's Gospel and into the season of Lent towards our Easter celebration. But Jesus said it clearly in his ministry, greater love has no one more than this, than for one to lay his life down for his friends. Jesus said it, and because we mattered to him, because he valued and appreciated us, he went on to lay his life down for us. He loved us. He really loved us. But what we can consider this morning is that it was bigger than that. For it wasn't just that he loved us. It's also that he valued and appreciated what we could be. We hear it in the portion of the prayer that we read from the 17th chapter of the Gospel of John this morning. Jesus, as he prays, says, I pray not just for these, but for all who will believe in me through their word, that they might be one. remember that Jesus is just hours away from an arrest in a garden, and then a trial, and then merciless beatings, relentless mockings and ridicule, and then ultimately crucifixion. But in that moment, confronted with that darkness, Jesus was able to see beyond all of that, to see what was possible in the structure that he had spent 3 years building. He loved those who had joined him along the way. Peter, James, John, and all of the others. And because he knew that there was a Peter, a James, and a John and the others, he knew that there was also going to be a Stephen, a Lydia, and a Paul. And because there was going to be a Stephen, a Lydia, and a Paul, there would one day be a Constantine, an Augustine, a Calvin, and a Luther. And because there was an Augustine, and Luther, and Calvin, and Constantine, there was one day going to be a Charlene. And here we can fill in the names of all of those people that you were picturing a few minutes ago. And because there was a Charlene and all those wonderful saints of God, there's a you. And there's a me. What we hear in Jesus' prayer is that as he was confronting the darkest realities of human existence that waited for him just beyond the horizon, he prayed to envision a you. He paused to envision a you and me. And he prayed for those structures, those people who would have a direct hand in shaping a you and me. That they would be one as he and the Father are one. A unity that we touched on last week that's centered in mutual self-giving love. The Father pours love into the Son pours love into the Father, and the result is glory for God and salvation for us. Now that's some long-range vision. That's some long-range planning. That's some long-range love. As the church today, we are called to embody that love in the world that surrounds us so that we can share it with those who are coming after us. As I prepared for this sermon this week, as I always do, I read a variety of commentaries on the passage in focus. And I had to pause a moment when I read the reflections of one particular commentator. He wrote, "The church is never more than one generation from extinction." And he's right. The church has risen and fallen in every age by the willingness of the present generation to pour itself out in love and mercy and service for the ones who are coming after it. We are here today. I am here today because of Charlene and the little sweet things that she did to me, for me, to show me that I matter, that I had value, and that she appreciated it. You are here today because of those saints of God who, because they knew God loved them, needed you to know that you are loved, that you are appreciated, that you are valued. Setting up a system and a chain that stretches all the way back to before the moment of the resurrection, to a moment when Jesus prayed for us about a love that would be visible on a cross, but was audible in that prayer. I pray not just for these, but for those who will come to believe in me through their work. May they be one. Jesus was praying for us. He was praying for Constantine and Augustine and Calvin and Luther. And he was praying for Stephen and Lydia and Paul. And he was praying for Matthew, James, John, Peter, and the others. That we would be one. One in love. One in knowledge of salvation. One in hope. Because when we are one in these, we have something to share with the world. We have the presence of God. For it is like John says in his letter, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God. Those who love are born of God and know God." I'm here today because somebody loved me. I don't know where she is, and I can't say thank you. But I can do what she did so that the church does not go extinct. So the love of this generation and the knowledge of God's grace will live in the next. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God. Let us pray. Gracious and holy God, we rejoice and give you thanks for your endless capacity to love. For the sake of that love you created. For the sake of that love you bear us in the midst of our sin and disobedience. For the sake of that love you sent a Savior and rose up a church. For the sake of that love you call us to serve. Lord, work in us and through us, that your love, made visible on a cross and audible in a prayer, might live in the heart of our culture and in every person across the face of the earth. We make this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.